Okay, so this is a test to see if I can actually make a screencast this year. I've had a little bit of technical difficulties. But anyhow, this is to go over the graphing material that we went over on Thursday, August 29th in class. So you should have a handout that looks something like this. Yours probably does not have a data set over here, or if it does, it's data set with different data. At any rate, these are graphing things to do. So we're going to use these all year. I uploaded these notes onto Schoology. So the first thing is have a relevant title. In this case, I might actually have fuel economy or gas use versus miles driven or something like that for the data that I'm going to have down here. You want to label each axis with units. The dependent variable goes on the vertical or y-axis. The independent variable goes on the horizontal or x-axis. So sometimes that's a little bit hard to tell, but the goal is unless you're told otherwise, that's the precedent that we set. You want to have consistent scaling on each axis, so you don't want to change. Like here, I see each small box as 1 gallon of fuel used. You don't want to do that and then now have each box mean something different. The scales can be different on the x-axis and y-axis, but they need to be consistent throughout. For now and through a lot of the year, we're going to always start our graphs at 0, 0. That's the origin. That's so we don't skew the data. We don't try to zoom in on it. It helps us make sure we understand what we're seeing. Later on in the year, we might do that because we generally want to have our data be occupying enough space to be able to tell what's going on. But for right now, 0, 0. Once we plot our points, a lot of times we'll look and see what pattern we have. We'll try to make a line, or it could be a curve of best fit. Those do not connect the dots, but basically they represent the best trend that we see. So in this case, when I plotted the dots, they seem to go up like that. So I have a nice straight line. I used a straight edge to do that, or a ruler. When we get a straight line, we actually can find the slope of that, and that's something that can be really useful in physics. So you pick 2 points on the line, not 2 data points, because any individual data point can have experimental error or uncertainty in it. And so the line of best fit averages all those out, and that gives us a better mathematical model. So here I'm choosing 0, 0 is one of my points, and here I'm choosing right where the graph line crosses these this corners here. And I do that because it's easy to figure out. And then we can use the change in y-axis values divided by the change in x-axis values from our 2 points. That'll get us our slope. And then finally, we can essentially put those into an equation for a straight line. Y equals mxb is what you probably heard of in math class. Y represents the y-axis variable. X represents the x-axis variable. M is your slope, and if there's a y-intercept, that's the b value. So over here, essentially what I've got is a number of values for miles driven by a vehicle and the gallons of fuel used. So the gallons used would depend on how far you drive, so the gallons used are the dependent variable. I look at these, and these are my biggest values, so I've got 380 miles and 19 gallons. Well, on this scale, each one of the small boxes could represent 1 gallon, and I could still fit all my data. And on this scale, each of these bigger boxes could represent 100 miles driven, and that represents my data. So that's the scale I chose. Notice I didn't label every line, and the graph looks pretty reasonable. So then I go about and plot points. Let's say if I think about this middle point, it's 158 miles and 7.5 gallons. So between 100 and 200 miles, I've got 5 boxes, so each box represents 20 miles. So that's 100, 120, 140, 160. So 158 is pretty close to 160. It's right up there. And then 7.5 gallons is halfway between 7 gallons, which is there, and 8 gallons, which is there. So that's my data point. Like I said, I made my line of best fit, chose my 2 points, this point and this point. So to get my slope, I choose the y-axis value of this, which is 15 gallons, subtract off the y-axis value of that, which is 0 gallons, and then divide all that by the x-axis value for distance or or amount driven. That's 300 miles minus 0 miles. So essentially get 15 gallons over 300 miles. That comes out to a slope of 0.05 gallons per mile. Now, gallons per mile is something that's useful. It tells us the rate at which fuel is used. But in the United States, we don't usually think of things that way. We usually think of things in terms of miles per gallon. And sometimes in physics, the slope can mean something, but it's hard to understand, so we may need to manipulate or adjust that slope to make it make sense for us. So in this case, if I take 1 divided by the slope, and that would be essentially 1 divided by gallons per mile, I would get something with units of miles per gallon, and that makes sense. So I would take, instead of 0.5 gallons over 1 mile, 1 gallon over 0.05 miles, or pardon me, 1 mile over 0.05 gallons. That's 20 miles per gallon. That makes a lot more sense to me when I think about whether something's fuel efficient or not. So hopefully this helps as an example. Again, we'll be doing lots of graphing things in class.